Hi there, my name's Kieran Mathers and I'm the creative lead on the Solar Storm project. Today we're going to do a short video about the combat mechanics in Solar Storm. Now, we're going to be crowdfunding Solar Storm on the 9th of June, so if you like what you see, come and chat to us on Twitter to get more information then about how you can help out in our crowdfunding drive. Alright, so let's start now. So I'm just going to go straight through to the build screen. Obviously, ships on Solar Storm can be whatever shape and size you like. Now, we don't define to our players what the best ship to build is. However, to save time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load a ship, which I've already created. So here we are. I call it the Flying Christmas Tree. The name might need some work though. So, quickly add some crew to it now. As you can see, this is quite a heavily armed ship. We've got 2 railguns. We've got 2 laser guns as well. This would be quite heavy armament for a game of STS-96. However, since we're doing a combat demo, I thought it was best to take as many guns as I possibly could. Alright, let's go ahead and launch. So here we are flying out in space. This is the travel screen. On Solar Storm and STS-96, this is where you will do a lot of your work. From here, you can put the roof onto components and just admire your beautiful, beautiful ship. You can move your crew around. Now, moving your crew around allows you to buff the components that they're in. So if you put a crewman like I just have in a railgun situation, what they'll do is they'll make the railgun more accurate. If you put them in a command position, you'll burn less fuel. If you put them in an engine, the engine will operate faster. So you've got to be careful about how you use your crew. But we're here to talk about combat. So what I'll do now is I'll cheat and I will quickly bring up an enemy vessel. Normally in Solar Storm, what you'd have to do is you'd have to wait for a combat event to appear before you could have a fight. However, this is just to save time. Alright, so here we are. Here is the enemy. Now it's an enemy drone. There's nobody on board here. Probably thrown up by the Great Filter Movement to stop us getting to Mars. It's armed with a single railgun, which is right here that you can see. So we'll just wait for that to open fire on us. And we'll show you how combat works when you're under attack. Now the yellow indicator indicates where that ship has fired its railgun. You don't want to get hit by railguns, but what I can do, as you've just seen me do, is burn my engines to make sure that that railgun shot misses. Now we'll wait for the railgun shot to come up again and I'll show you what I just did. Obviously I'm not shooting back yet. So the railgun shot is inbound. I'm going to burn the engines, which allows me to move the projected course for the railgun away from my ship. However, when you're doing this, keep an eye on your fuel. Fuel's a really important resource in Solar Storm, and you've got to be very careful when you're throwing your ship into evasive maneuvers that you don't burn through all your fuel, because you may very well need it much later on in the game. Sometimes it can be easier for a component to take a hit and repair it than to waste the fuel to avoid getting hit. So I'm really tired now of being shot at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit them back. Over here, on the right hand of the screen, I've got little tabs. These little tabs are my weapons. So the top 2 are laser guns. I'm going to select both of those, and then I'm going to draw a targeting tab on the enemy, like this. So my lasers have fired now, and I've taken out one of their corridor sections. Ships in Solar Storm are made up of corridors. They make up the superstructure of the ship. So what I've just done there is I've knocked off the 2 solar panels, which you can now see tumbling away. When ships get hit in Solar Storm, they will fall apart in the way that they were built. So I'll show you that again. I'll try and hit this capacitor here. And I'm not aiming at the capacitor, I'm aiming at the corridor that supports it. I've just taken that out, so let's take the other section out, like that. And we've just knocked the capacitor off into space as well. Now I'll cease fire with the lasers, and I'll decide what I want to do next. Now it's fired its railgun at me once more. I'll avoid that shot, and then I will stop them shooting at me now, because I'm getting tired of being shot at. So I'm going to call in my laser guns there. Now, as you can see, I've just been hit by their railgun fire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to detail a man to just run down to that railgun and fix it as quick as they can. Obviously that's not a railgun, my apologies, that is in fact a laser gun. So I've taken out one of their corridor sections with my lasers, and I'll take out another corridor section here. Now they've just called in a shot on my reactor, so I'll burn my engines to get out of the way of that. My laser gun's been repaired, and if you can see over here, I've just disabled their weapons. So they're completely helpless now. I could either spend my time picking the wings off a fly with my laser guns, but I think I'll call in the heavy guns. So I'll call in my rail guns. I'll open fire on them like that. Obviously, railgun fire takes a lot more energy, so you can see the energy bar up here slowly sinking. And yeah, so we'll wait for that railgun fire to go in. As you can see, railgun shots are extremely dangerous, and once I've taken out the command center, the combat is over. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that quick introduction to combat in Solar Storm. As you can see, the mechanics are quite interesting. You can use the mechanics to knock bits off your enemy. One of the things which you will be able to do in Solar Storm as well is use that to your advantage. So if you knock sections off the enemy, you'll then be able to interact with those parts if you fly into the area of them. From there, you'll be able to send a man outside and pick up those parts and put them on your ship. We've already got crewmen who can go EVA, so if you just watch this for a moment. So I'll order this crewman into the airlock, like this. Well, if he goes. So we'll order him, and then we'll order him outside to this fuel section here. So he moves into the airlock, changes into a spacesuit, and away he goes. Obviously, if you're in combat, these guys are extremely vulnerable, so you might not want to get them shot. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed what you saw there. Obviously, we're going to be crowdfunding on the 9th of June. Come and chat to us on Twitter at Solar Storm Game, and hopefully we'll see you there. So we hope you liked what you saw, and thanks for watching.